There are three stories, as usual, and the first story is it really picked my interest. And well, let me get into it, and then I'll go from there. So this is from NBC News. This is from yesterday. Morals over money. Waitress fired after refusing to serve transphobic customers. Turning a blind eye to hate is just as bad as saying the hateful things, in my opinion, the waitress, Brittany Spencer, said. Okay. Now, before I get into the article, I have to look at that quote. Turning a blind eye to hate is just as bad as saying the hateful things, in my opinion. There is that common saying of, if you allow something to happen, then you are just as bad as the person who is causing the problem, or if you are watching an atrocity take place, you are as bad as the people committing the atrocity. I don't agree with that statement because acting something out and like inflicting something it's not equivalent to just standing there watching it happen. For example, and this is if I, and this is pretty out there, but if I saw someone, if I see someone getting murdered, like I see the action taking place, and I don't do anything to help the person who's getting murdered, I am not as bad as the person. I am not as bad as the murderer, because I'm not actually committing the action that has ended a life. Now, I do believe turning a blind eye. I do believe turning a blind eye to something that you know is wrong. That, to me, that is wrong. But it's not nearly as bad as committing the wrong action. I don't subscribe to that thought pattern of ignoring something being equivalent to committing to doing a particular action. I don't believe that. Okay, that was a little bit of a side note. Okay, here we go. As I said, this is from NBC News. A waitress who was fired after refusing to serve transphobic customers at a Wisconsin restaurant on Saturday said she has no regrets about putting morals over money. During her shift at Fat Joe's Bar and Grill in the town of Fond du Lac, Brittany Spencer overheard a couple making insulting comments about a transgender customer sitting at the bar. As she served the customers, they turned to her to ask what she thought about the trans patron. They were asking me if I thought it was disgusting and wrong, and why we would let someone like that into the establishment, Spencer told NBC 26, NBC News Green Bay affiliate, to which I answered, no, I do not agree with that, and walked away. Here's the thing. There's more to the article, but let's put this into some context here. Okay, we don't know whether this is true. We don't know the couple side of the story. Okay, so I'm just going to put that out there. So we just keep that in mind as we go through this story. Okay. Spencer said she asked her manager if another employee could serve the table, because she was uncomfortable. But her manager said no. She essentially told me to suck it up or go home, Spencer told NBC 26, to which I said, okay, I will leave. That night, Spencer took to Facebook to share what happened, stating that she was sent home for refusing to serve the customers. The following day, she was alerted by the restaurant's management that she had been fired from her waitressing position. I was fired from my job because I refused to wait on a table who were making transphobic remarks about guests at another table, Spencer wrote on her Facebook page Sunday. But I'll always choose my morals over money. See ya. Fat Joe's has since disabled its Facebook page following an inundation of negative reviews. The establishment did not respond to NBC News' request for comment, but Tad Wallander, one of the co-owners of Fat Joe's, told NBC 26 that the restaurant serves all customers and that Spencer was fired for refusing to do the duty we hired her for. We are going to serve anyone in here as long as it's a safe environment, Wallander said. I've been in the service industry for a good 15 years and I've heard hundreds of conversations I didn't agree with, but it's a matter of fact of brushing it off and having to tough it out through your task. Spencer said she has received a bounty of supportive Facebook messages thanking her for standing up against transphobia. She has also filed a complaint with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, a federal agency that enforces civil rights laws against workplace discrimination. While she is in the process of looking for a new job, she said the incident at Fat Joe's is bigger than what happened to her. Ignoring hate and ignoring people talking like that is not being neutral, Spencer said. That's allowing hate to happen in your establishment, and I didn't think that was appropriate, so I left. Turning a blind eye to hate is just as bad as saying the hateful things, in my opinion. Okay, so there's really a lot in here. So, I'm going to say this again. We don't know the couple side of the story. They're not really mentioned again. Okay, now, both parties have something interesting to say. So, she says, I was fired from my job because I refused to wait on a table who were making transphobic remarks about guests at another table. But here, by Tad Wallander, he says that she was fired for refusing to do the duty we hired her for. Now, that shows that they do have common ground and they both know the reason. Okay. It's kind of, I don't know. Okay, here, let me just state what I'm thinking here. So you have Tad Wallander, who's saying she refused to do the duty that she was hired for. That's why we fired her. Now, when you are in the service industry, customer service, or or whatever, when you deal with people, with different people every day, you're gonna come across some interesting folks. Okay, I'm gonna say this. The couple, or the people, I'll just say this, the people at the table, they had the right to say what they wanted to say. If that indeed is the case. Alright? So, you can have, so, I'm gonna say this, they were okay. Now, to me, they didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't think that they didn't have to bring her into it. They didn't have to bring the waitress into it. To me, that just wasn't necessary. That's just, it was what it was. So, it's difficult because here's the thing. We talk about tolerance and diversity, and the thing is, we have selective tolerance and selective diversity. So, when you look at this whole situation, she is saying, okay, these people are making fun of, or, talking bad about, a transgender individual. Okay, I don't like that they're doing that. It makes me uncomfortable. It seems wrong to me. I don't want to serve them anymore. Okay? Here's the thing. When you work for someone, you have to do what you have to do your job description. You have to complete those tasks. You have to fulfill the bullet points. That's part of having a job. And if you do not do those tasks, if you do not complete what you're supposed to complete, or you do it to an unsatisfactory level, you are let go. Remember, she walked out of the restaurant. Remember, Spencer said she asked her manager if another employee could serve the table. Now, I'm going to say this before I go back to my old. Well, let me just finish that point. So she essentially told me to suck it up or go home, and then Spencer said, "Okay, I will leave." So technically, she quit. She quit on the team. She made the staff shorthanded because they were probably just like, so what just happened? Where's Brittany? Who, okay, wait a minute, where did she go? Like, what happened? So she left, and then they were kind of scrambling. And I mean, they obviously figured out pretty quickly because she told the manager to her face that, okay, I'll leave. But here's another thing that I'm saying. If this is true, I do commend Brittany for going to her manager and just saying she wasn't comfortable and just said, can someone else cover this table? Just for right now. I do commend her for doing that, because instead of just complaining about the customers and saying, okay, can we kick them out? Can we I don't know, can we do something else? She said, okay, you know what? Let's try to make the best of the situation. I'm not really comfortable serving them. And, it's not really about comfort at a job. It's really just about doing the job. And so she said, okay, can someone else just do this, please? And supposedly the manager said no. And, I get it. Because if you just let your employees choose who they serve and who they don't serve, you're going to have a lot of problems, because then you're going to just have waitresses and waiters say, okay, can someone else do this table? You have to have a system set in place. Now, this was a temporary thing, but I do understand both sides here concerning asking if someone else could serve the table. I do understand it. So this to me is just very interesting. So she was fired. She quit. It's a very strange scenario. She quit, and she was also fired. And here's the thing. I believe, in a way, to me, both sides are right. She was fired because she didn't do her job. And it's just very simple. It's part of the service industry. You're gonna come across people who you don't like, who are annoying, who smell, who are ugly. You're gonna come across a bunch of people, and you have to deal with it. You have to. You either do it or you're out of there and you leave. I remember when I worked at Staples, I was, back to school season was always hectic. You would meet so many families, so many moms, dads, families, just so many different kinds of people. Some would be great customers, some would be, good, some would be completely average, some would be bad, and some were just absolutely horrendous. You deal with all of them. There are highs, there are lows. There are good tippers, there are people who never tip. Generally, I'm a generous tipper. I'm someone who I don't feel right if I don't give a good tip. That's always been me. I just, giving, it's just, the law of giving. When you give, giving is just really powerful. Anyway, that's not really the point of this. But she was let go because she didn't do her job. And she feels that she was in the right. And Fat Joe's feels that they were in the right. So I do see it from both sides. Brittany is saying, okay, I have to choose my morals over my money. Now that I do commend her for. I do commend her for that. I do acknowledge the fact that she said, you know what, I have a certain belief system, and I know this could cost me my job, and this could really affect me, but I have to stand up for what I believe is right. I do commend her for that. I give her a round of applause for that. But also, when you stand up for what you believe in, or if you stand up for any cause, or you do anything, you have to reap the positive and negative consequences. She's gonna find another job easily. One, because of the popularity. Two, because it's a great story. It's like, hey, we hired someone who stood up for, a trans person. It's a good story. She could have a little bit of a following. She has a little bit of popularity. She got her 15 minutes of fame. So she's going to find another job. That's no problem. That's no problem. Fat Joe's, I think they're going to be okay. Not quite as, it's hard because I don't consider Fat Joe's to be the loser, but if I had to pick between who's the loser here, it's Fat Joe's. Because let me tell you something about negative reviews. Negative reviews are so powerful. People are so influenced on a place's ratings and their reviews and all of that. Yelp, Google, Facebook, just any place where you can receive a rating. It's grossly and vastly important to businesses today. I don't know. I find this story so interesting. I commend Brittany. She stood up for what she believed in. But, that's what happens. If you do a certain thing, you have to reap the consequences. And this was the consequence that she had. Okay, that's really it for this story. It's really, I don't know. I've never had a story like this. Now that I think about it, I've never had something where where two parties have conflicting sides, and I pretty much totally agree with both of them. Okay. Okay, so Patrick Mahomes. He suffered a knee injury yesterday in the second quarter. And this is really going to affect the Chiefs. I mean, this really is. Now, let me say this. Currently, I have the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. At the beginning of the season, I had them winning the Super Bowl. Now, they're definitely winning the Super Bowl in my mind. Because there's no team that can knock them. I don't see it happening. But their season is really gonna it's really gonna take a hit. Here's why. So the 27th, they play the Packers. And luckily it's at Kansas City. They play the Vikings. They play at Tennessee Titans. They play at LA Chargers. Then they host the Raiders. And then they go to Gillette to play the Patriots. Then they host the Broncos. Then they go to Chicago. And then they finish the season hosting the Chargers. Okay. This is just really going to affect their season. Here's the article. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes left Thursday night's win over the Denver Broncos after suffering a right knee injury in the second quarter. The NFL's reigning MVP was injured on a quarterback sneak on fourth down with just over 9 minutes remaining in the first half. As medical staff attended to him on the field, it appeared Mahomes' knee was straightened and popped back into place. A cart came onto the field, apparently to take Mahomes for treatment. He was instead helped off the field by a couple of trainers. Players from both teams came by to offer encouragement. Here's the thing. I like Patrick Mahomes. He's decent. I think he's overrated just because of the weapons that are around him. He has a tremendous... First of all, he's got a quarterback guru in Andy Reid. Now, Andy Reid chokes in the playoffs. We know that. We know this. But Andy Reid, he has mastered, raising quarterbacks. He's mastered it. Okay? I think Mahomes is decent. He just has a lot of weapons around him. That's why I'm reluctant to say that he's really good. Mahomes, 24, soon left for the locker room, walking under his own power but with a limp. He was in the X-ray room for only 2 minutes before the Chiefs ruled him out, according to the Fox broadcast. The team did not immediately offer details on the nature of the injury. According to the broadcast, Chiefs coach Andy Reid said Mahomes told him he was going to be okay on his way off the field. After the game, Reid said the team would wait to get back to Kansas City before offering further evaluation. A source told ESPN's Adam Schefter that the Chiefs will not know until the MRI images. If there isn't damage, the best case timeline for Mahomes would be around 3 weeks, a source said. Okay, so that would mean that they said best case timeline would be around 3 weeks. Okay, so luckily this was a Thursday night. This was a Thursday night game. So they play again on the 27th, which is more than a week. So you host the Packers the 27th, you host the Vikings. So that's 2 weeks you're at home and you don't have to go anywhere. And then you have the Titans on the 10th. I think I I gotta go. I gotta go. I could easily see them going 1-2 or 0-3. I really could. Because right now the Chiefs stand at 5-2, so they could. By the time in a best case scenario, he comes back, they'll be 500 at 5-5 or 6-4. I don't see. I just don't see him doing too well. All right, Mahomes addressed his teammates in the locker room following the game, a 30-6 victory. Take care of yourself this weekend. Enjoy yourself. Be smart. We got more to go, baby, he said, smiling. He could be seen limping in the locker room with his leg in a black sleeve or brace. He appeared in good spirits as he slapped hands with teammates. Mahomes entered Thursday's game hobbled by a left ankle injury he tweaked in a Week 5 loss to the Colts, when a teammate accidentally stepped on him. He played through the ankle injury in Sunday's loss to the Texans and intended to do so again on Thursday. Reid said Mahomes suffering the knee injury Thursday on a quarterback sneak was a freak thing. Veteran Matt Moore, who joined the Chiefs late in the preseason after backup Chad Henne broke his right ankle, replaced Mahomes. Moore appeared in one game previously this season, throwing an incomplete pass against the Jaguars. Prior to that, he hadn't played in an NFL game since 2017 with the Miami Dolphins. Entering the night, Kansas City's Super Bowl odds were 8-1. 8-1, I should say. And its AFC title odds were 7-2 per Caesars Sportbook. Caesars has since taken down the odds with Mahomes' status up in the air. The Chiefs will have 9 days off until their next game on October 27th against the Packers. What's here, and another beneficial thing here is that it was relatively early in the game. It's first half. You're barely into the second quarter, and then he goes down. And ankle and knee injuries. Here's the thing. Lower body injuries tend to stay. They just tend to linger. Why? Because that's where we put all of our weight. We put our weight on our lower body. Because we stand and our legs are the strongest parts of our body. They have the most weight on them all the time. So when you have a lower body injury, it's serious. It is really serious. I don't know what the Chiefs are gonna do here. Are they out of the playoff picture? No, they're not. I believe they'll win the division. Yeah, I don't think I think they'll be fine. Now, Patrick Mahomes, I don't know. I don't know. What's helpful for him is that he's only 24. So he's still young, but it's just lower if you've ever you don't have to be an athlete. But when you have a lower body injury, they just stick with you. They really do. I've rolled my ankle I've rolled my ankles 3 times. Once I rolled my left ankle once and my right ankle twice. And ever since I've had them, I've never really quite walked the same. I don't, look decrepit or anything like that. But sometimes I do feel pain, and, sometimes my ankles will pop, and it's rough. But a knee injury is, Here's the thing. Thank God it wasn't an ACL. Okay? It wasn't an ACL. It wasn't an MCL. It was just I saw reports that it was just a dislocated kneecap, which I can't imagine what that actually feels like. I know it doesn't exactly tickle. So, I believe the Chiefs will be fine. I think they'll make the playoffs. But I'm telling you, man, let me know. But I don't see anyone beating the Patriots. At least, well, let me say this. At least in the AFC. I don't see it happening. I mean, maybe you do, I don't. Because here's the thing. So, Patriots 6-0. Here are the division leaders. Patriots 6-0. Chiefs 5-2. Ravens 4-2. Texans 4-2. Okay, so let's do automatic elimination. Who's out? Okay, the winless Dolphins are out. We knew that the first week 1. We knew that kickoff week. Because they looked abysmal. I mean, they're the worst team we've seen in a long time. The 2-5 Broncos, the 0-6 Bengals, the 2-4 Titans. Okay. And then the 2-4 Jaguars. I don't know how to feel about the Steelers. Because they currently sit at 2-4, but they are the Steelers. And they usually make the playoffs. And they're tied with the Browns. That, to me, the AFC North is still up for grabs. Alright. Chargers, I'm gonna say out. Raiders, out. Jets, out. The team, to me, that has the best chance, I guess it would be the Chiefs. I guess. But, I'm telling you, when Andy Reid gets into the playoffs, it's just not a good thing. Like, not at all. And here's the thing, I really like him. He's been through a lot during his career. He really has. And, it's just, it's rough. But Andy Reid, when it comes time for the playoffs, he's pretty, you're not going to go far. You're not going to go far. It's just that simple. I want to say, let me go to ProFootballReference.com. He's 61 years old. I don't know. I gotta say this. The only team I see is the Chiefs, but I know that they're gonna choke because they got Andy Reid. It's just that simple. I love Andy Reid, but he's proven time and time again. I want to say this is his 20th year. He's been in the league for a while. And then I'm looking at the NFC. Okay, I haven't really talked much football. But let me just say this. The 49ers are not going to stay, they're not going to stay winless. It's not going to happen. I don't even believe the Patriots are going to go winless. I don't. Okay, Seahawks at 5-1. It's pretty good. But, ever since they lost the Super Bowl, that franchise has never been the same, and I think it's going to take them a long time to get over that. And I think in order for that to happen, Pete Carroll's got to go. So I'm not really concerned with the Seahawks. The Packers at 5-1. Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback in the league, but he's, he's a difficult guy to play with. He is. And him and Matt LaFleur, I don't have faith. The Saints have been doing pretty good without Drew Brees. But, it's a long way. There's still a lot of football left. We're getting towards the halfway mark. But, I could be wrong. But as I see it now, and not just because I'm a Patriot fan, of course I want to see them win. But currently, I'll just say this. In the AFC, I don't see anyone else representing the AFC East. I mean, the AFC, other than the Patriots. My next best choice would be the Chiefs, but I just know Andy Reid can't perform in the playoffs. It's just a proven track record. So I'm gonna leave it there. And if you think I'm wrong, please tell me, because I think I'm being unbiased here. I don't see that happening with. I just don't see it happening with. I can't. I don't see. The NFC is much stronger than the AFC this year. But I gotta tell you, man, the Patriots have an easy ride this year. And don't be surprised if, the Patriots once again win. Just don't be surprised. Just be ready. That's what I'll say. Okay, this next story is nasty. This story, I couldn't even think about it that much because unfortunately for myself, I came across this story last night around the time that I had just eaten, and I just let's just say it just made my stomach curl into a ball for like, I don't know, 10 minutes. I didn't throw up or anything. This story is just flat out nasty. So I'm gonna give you, let me give you a warning here. If you're eating, don't listen to this story. If you're eating, or if you are about to eat, or if you have just eaten, or you just have a sensitive stomach, I get it. Don't listen to it. This is my last story, okay? So you can just end it here, okay? I'm going to start the story right now. Dozens of rats up for adoption after San Diego woman found living in van with 300. A woman living in a van in San Diego with her pet rats has agreed to give them up. All 300 of them. Not 3, not 6, not 9, not 30, 300. I've said this multiple times. There are some crazy people out there. There are indeed crazy individuals. Just crazy. What would I can't. Why would I want 300 of any kind of animal? I mean, and of all things, of all possible animals, rats. 300 rats. And you're in a van, so you don't have that much space. The San Diego Union Tribune says the San Diego Humane Society went to the woman's van near Del Mar on October 8th. Authorities found rats had clawed into upholstery, burrowed into the seats, and gnawed the engine wiring. Captain Dane Cook says the woman It's either Dane or Danny. I'm not sure because it's Danee. I don't know. I'm just going to say Captain Cook. I like that. Captain Cook says the woman wasn't hoarding the animals. She'd started with just 2 pet rats. But rats can give birth every 4 weeks and produce a dozen in a litter. What? Here's my problem. What would make you want a single rat? What? Of all... I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Of all possible animals, why would you want that? There's so many other animals in this world. A fish, a dog, a cat, a parakeet, a gerbil, a hamster, a snake. There are so many other things. There are so many other animals, and I'm not even a pet person. I can't see I've said this before. The only way I could see myself having a pet when I'm older is when I'm married and my wife and kids just won't stop bugging me about it. That's the only way I could possibly see me doing it, and even then, I would fight it for as long as possible. But there are just... There's at least 30 animals I can think of right now that I would get over a pet rat. Oh, God. Cook says the woman acknowledged things had gotten out of control. Okay, let's just. So clearly, it doesn't take much time, which is something that you should know. I don't know. I guess it's not. Common sense isn't common. Common knowledge isn't. There's no such thing. Okay. So I guess authorities collected about 320 rats, and more than 100 are currently ready for adoption. The woman, meanwhile, has found a new place to stay. No. Oh my God. Look at this. Look at this. Rats make great pets. They are very social, smart, and love to interact with humans. Because rats are social animals, we require rats to be adopted in same gender pairs unless you already have a resident rat. Starting tomorrow, October 18th, the adoption fee for a pair is $5. That shows just how valuable rats are. You can get 2 for $5. 2 for $5. You know what you can get for $5? You can get 5 corn dogs or hot dogs from Wiener Schnitzel. The 5 for $5. But if you don't want to do that, you can buy 2 male rats or 2 female rats. Decisions. Yeah, what do you do? That's the end of the article. But I don't understand. Why would you want... I'm just not understanding this woman's mindset. I don't know anyone, to my recollection, that has a pet rat, or has ever had a pet rat, or has ever wanted a pet rat. I don't know. I only know 2 people. I know more than 2 people. Like 3 or 4. Just off the top of my head, there are 3 or 4 people I know who have pet mice, but They're not rats. I don't know. I'm not really someone who gets queasy that easily. But I mean, I don't know. I can't even imagine having a rat in living with me, let alone 300 of them. So, if you're in the San Diego area, and you have an extra $5 that you're looking to spend, buy some rats.